Good afternoon, welcome to my channel. Now, as you will have noticed, I'm in a very different location from usual. In fact, I'm in my camper van called Roxy, which features in this book, Running the Orient. And this is the story of my 2,300 mile journey across Europe, from Paris to Istanbul, and I ran that distance. This would make an excellent stocking filler / Christmas present for anyone in your life who's into running or into adventure generally. And I'm going to read you a little extract. So this is from the early part of the run, and we're still in the wilds of France, just east of France. So here we go. We sleep late on 17th of March and call an admin morning. As well as the interview with Mary to conduct, I have a pile of A4 maps to laminate and store in our master folder. Although arduous, this allows me to take individual maps out to run with. Being total stationary geeks, we brought a laminator with us and make the most of the electrical hookup available at the campsite. We are nothing if not resourceful. Possibly due to the constant icy precipitation, I see scarcely anyone as I make my way along the canal through Chalons and out into the fields once more. Everything seems oddly melancholy, including the graffiti. By one bridge, the portrait of a young boy in a baseball cap bears the legend, R.I.P. Lucas. Under another, Tristan has proclaimed his love for Melissa, but the declaration looks oddly perfunctory. Perhaps he's yet to meet his Isolde. At Sarri, I ignore warning signs, enter a construction site, unmanned as it's a Sunday, and cross a bridge over an unfinished motorway. Its empty vastness a perfect backdrop for the endless drizzle. My route has finally taken me away from the Marne and its accompanying canals and out into farmland. The temperature plummets and rain quickly cools to a slanting sleet, which always seems to be aimed directly into my face. I feel one side of my head growing numb as I battle the elements. A row of electricity pylons hums and crackles above me as I reach the top of a hill to survey an unchanging landscape of fields and villages. I struggle to keep my spirits up. The farms grow so vast and open that I am left without cover from the brutal wind, crossing tiny farm tracks between ploughed fields. I lose my way and consult my Garmin to seek the best direction to find shelter. I'm simply too cold to keep running, shivering in wet and ineffectual layers of lycra and nylon. As I run, I find my mind wandering, doing its best to distract me from the horrible conditions. I've been leaping over long, swollen earthworms on the road, and I spend minutes calculating the life expectancy of a 6-inch worm travelling at a normal invertebrate speed across an averagely busy farm road. These and other delirious thought processes keep me going as my bare arms begin to experience a deep pain from the cold, something I've not experienced before. I'd be hard-pressed to explain the appeal of running to anyone who might have asked at this point. But of course nobody but me is mad enough to be outdoors today. It's almost impossible to see through the rain, and I am unable to get my smartphone's touchscreen to work so that I can send Aradna a Mayday message. I make for a nearby copse of scrawny trees and manage to get just enough cover to wipe the water from my phone and call for pickup. There's no answer, but I leave a message asking Aradna to meet me at the nearby hamlet of Marsan. I make good speed there and stand shivering under a bus shelter in what seems a ghost town, the residents no doubt safely ensconced somewhere cosy and dry. When Aradna arrives 20 minutes later, I am in a foul mood. I lie in the roof tent swaddled in blankets, a hot water bottle cradled in my arms until I thaw out. I have not enjoyed the morning's run at all, and find myself unable to raise even a modicum of enthusiasm for continuing the adventure. I can't go back out there. It's Baltic. I can feel it in my bones. Aradna sighs. Why don't you just dry out, rest for a bit, and then maybe you'll feel... I really won't. It's utter hell out there, I moan. Aradna begins to use positive reinforcement to egg me on, handing sweets up into the roof compartment as a prelude to encouraging me back out into the cold and damp. Just a few miles more, my better half cajoles. I'm told I let out a childlike whine at the very suggestion of it. Look, she continues patiently, you've got thousands of miles to run still. If you let a little rain get to you... She's got a point. Still, despite my better half's entreaties, I'm far from keen to venture out again. Once more, Aradna, in her guise as coach, delivers a pep talk, assuring me that just a few more kilometres will suffice to make the day worthwhile. Battling lethargy and defeatism, I come to accept that if I can't raise the willpower to head out into the rain again, it throws real doubt on my ability to stand the course and make it all the way to Istanbul. I take off my dry civvies and put on a fresh set of running gear, then set off once more, Aradna sticking close by and Roxy cheerleading from the verge. I have no idea that olive oil could freeze until I wake up on the morning of the 18th of March and notice a thick, opaque liquid in a plastic bottle by the sill. Our breath has frozen into a layer of ice on the inside of the windows, and the temperature in the van remains sub-zero. Our night's sleep has been challenging, to say the least. We wrapped ourselves in the thin duvet we brought, plus 2 blankets and most of our clothes. I yank open the side door of the van with some difficulty and look out into a pristine white wilderness of snow. During the night, about 3 inches has fallen, soft and silent, shrouding everything. My breath clouds before me as I tramp out across the snow into what later turns out to be someone's garden, to find a suitable alfresco loo, a hole dug beneath a bush. A little later, as we both struggle to warm up inside our van, 2 well-wrapped-up parents walk by pulling a small child on a sled. We wave hello as we put the kettle on, as much for warmth as for our morning cuppa. It's even more difficult than usual to get Aradna to open her eyes and embrace the day as we realise that there is a limit to the effectiveness of campervan insulation. Still, there isn't quite enough snow on the ground to stop me from running. I put on the trail shoes and as many layers as I can, plus gloves and a woolly hat. Back on the farm roads, it seems a very different environment than the previous day. The fields blanketed in white or dotted with blobs of snow revealing spring shoots underneath. An oddly spectral powdered snow blows across the more exposed rows, floating like low-lying smoke. The landscape is starkly pretty under its winter coat, although now and then the pervasive stink of manure hits me, heady and inescapable. At the village of Bussy-le-Repos, wooden-beamed farm buildings are brightly painted and shuttered against the cold. A sign points me to a town with the eerie name of Possess. I run the other way. Nearby, a small pyramidal monument surmounted by a cross commemorates something. I couldn't find a plaque. Further on, a car lies horrifically crumpled in a ditch, the accident site still cordoned off with police tape. Everything seems redolent with mortality, the snow a decorative shroud over the underlying truth that all things must pass away. And I think I'll stop there on that slightly morbid note. So anyway, here's the book, Running the Orient, available now. I'd love to hear what you think, both of this extract and of the book if you read it. Subscribe to the channel, share this video, and yeah, make a comment if you want, and I'll see you again with a short story very soon. Bye-bye.